Hello everyone, today we're going to talk about propagating and selecting our own varieties of fruit tree from seed. So today we have apple and I was going to have stone fruit, but because stone fruit is out of season, we had to use a mango, and we'll talk about how it's analogous and we can look into that. So with breeding tree fruit and other perennial fruit, oftentimes for nurseries and home gardeners, they don't make directed crosses, and that's just because sometimes it can be tedious to make crosses on the tree and to cover up to bag the flowers and allow and save the fruit that results. So oftentimes people will select a tree that they like. They both like the growth habit and they like the quality of the fruit, or they like other traits of it, and they'll save fruit from that tree, knowing that they don't have full control over who is the pollen parent, taking the advantage of the reality of statistics. And in many clonally propagated crops or things that are grown from cuttings, there's a very wide genetic variation. So you're relying on that wide genetic variation to have different differences in the offspring that you can select from. So basically, you'll plant seeds out, you'll let them grow up for a couple years, and when they start fruiting, you'll kill anything you don't like. And whatever remains, you'll keep, and you can use that either as your new variety, and you can propagate that for your own use. I want to mention right now, I have grocery store fruit and apples. This is not a rule for all these varieties, but many of the trademarked varieties, there is some legality around the propagation and then the selling of genetic material from that. So if you're getting these from the grocery store apple or from a trademarked variety, just be aware. You can look into it, but most likely just keep it for home use. Home use, you should be fine. If you have a tree in your yard, that's fine. Just not if you're propagating it and selling it as a new variety that you developed. Oftentimes they want credit. So that's a note. So basically, what I did is I just scooped out the core of the apple and got the seeds. And the reason why I'm doing it like this and we're not just planting it any other way is we need a stratification period or a time of cool temperatures. So what people will do if they did this in the summer or in a different time of the year, maybe when apples are normally ready in the fall, people will take out the seeds, wrap them up in a damp paper towel, put it in a Ziploc bag, and put it in the fridge for 46 weeks. Here, I'm already regretting not having my jacket for this filming. It is cold, and we want to take advantage of the natural chilling hours we're getting just in our climate. So it is early January now. There's still plenty of chilling time. So what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to plant these apples out in these pots, and these seeds out in these pots, and then I'm going to leave them in the yard in my garden to naturally stratify over the winter and the spring. There should be some growth, and then once I have some trees that are growing, I'll select the ones of those seedlings that are most vigorous. I'll pot those up, and I have a very small yard, so I'll mostly just keep these trees potted, see how they do under the conditions I want, as in, can they grow as a potted plant? And when they start fruiting in 3 to 5 years, I'll make my decision, or potentially longer, depending on the species. I'll make my decision if I want to keep any of the seedlings. This is a long-term investment, like anything in seed and perennial breeding. I'll actually also do that with this apple. This is another cultivar of apple. This one's from New Zealand. So I was interested in New Zealand apples because they have a very similar climate to our to Western Oregon, and I'm hoping that that would give me a higher chance of success and having something cool and something that I want to keep around in my yard. As far as stone fruit is a great place to start when you're saving and selecting new cultivars in your own home garden or nursery. The issue is we tried to get stone fruit this time of year and we couldn't find any in the grocery store. So we're using a mango. Mango is not related to stone fruit. That's a really common misconception. It is not a prunus. It is more closely related to poison oak and to pistachios. That's why some people get irritations with the skin along their lips. So what it is similar though is there's a seed in the middle. There's a shell to the seed, which with a stone fruit you can use you can break open with a hammer, a mallet, or even a crab cracker. Or if you have a clingstone variety, you can just twist it open and you should be able to pop out the seed. With mango, you just cut and then you can pull out the seed, which I did here. So what's different also about The mango is unlike the apples that I planted. This does not need stratification. If I leave it in my garden over the winter, it will die. So it's going to have a fate similar to this avocado, where I'm going to put it in this pot on its side. And this is what I recommend you do with the peach pits too, is put it in a pot on its side, slightly buried, just under about an inch of soil. And then I'm going to water that in, and it's going to live on a windowsill. If it was a peach or a nectarine or another stone fruit, you would also leave it outside, like I'm going to do with these apples, where I'll just leave it on my patio to get the winter chill. What's kind of fun with the mango, and what I do a lot is for free house plants, is I'll save seeds from grocery store runs, like these avocados, and I'll just pot them up, or even plant them in the yard, enjoy them in the summer, and then pot them up and use them as house plants. So that is how you can grow fruit trees from seed. It takes patience and just an understanding that you may or may not have something that you like. However, when you do find something that you like, it is very rewarding. Thank you.